Hello, everybody. Hello, welcome back to the Dugout Football channel and welcome to the PREM Predictions Show. It has been a while. Um, I've just been so busy to get these videos out, but we are back. We're back for match week number 7, the last one before the international break. Please, before I begin, please do hit that like button. Please do hit that subscribe button. Also, press the hype button. It helps the algorithm as well. So hopefully it gets this video out to other people who obviously watch as well. But the fixtures are going across the bottom of your screen, and we will preview and predict all of these matches. So first game is a Friday night game with Bournemouth against Fulham. Um, Bournemouth very good draw against Leeds. I think in the end they'll be happy that they got a point in the end. Probably a bit disappointed they sort of gave away a lead as well. So managed to sort of get that back as well. Obviously, Semenyo scoring from the free kick, which is really, really good to see. And as well, Kupri got the equaliser for Bournemouth as well. So very good point. They are back in front of their fans at the Vitality. And going up there to the Vitality will not be easy. Will not be easy at all. Um, Fulham, I think they'll be a bit hard done by against Aston Villa. Again, they took the lead as well through Raul Jimenez, which is a very, very good finish for Raul Jimenez. But again, it kind of turns on one decision. Josh King getting booked for diving again. Um, Look, I've got to say, I think Martinez does catch him. I do think Martinez does catch him. I think it's really, really harsh to give that. Um, and he gets booked for diving, and I don't think he did dive. I think Martinez did clearly catches him. And so, and then after that, Villa did come back into the game, and fair play to Villa. It was a very, very good performance. But I think if you're a Fulham fan, you'll be very, very disappointed with letting the lead slip and also not playing brilliantly. Let's just say not playing brilliantly to tell you the very, very true. So, how do I see this one going? Bournemouth or Fulham, Friday night football, of course, under the lights of the Vitality. I actually fancy a Bournemouth victory. I do think Bournemouth being at home, they'll have their fans in front of them, and Marco Silva just wants a game that he can just basically win without a referee decision to, determine his side's results recently. So, but I don't think they get anything here. I'm going to go Bournemouth 2, Fulham 1. And now we move on to Saturday lunchtime, but a very, very interesting game. We've got Leeds United against Tottenham. I've got to say, Leeds United have surprised me a little bit this season so far. They've definitely got an attacking threat. They've got goals from midfield, which is really, really good to see. Yes, you can kind of say maybe defensively they're not the best at the moment, but Carl Darlow is doing pretty well in the league goal. Obviously, injury to Perry as well, which is really, really disappointing to say the very, very least. But if they can get Dominic Calvert-Lewin firing, then I think they'll be absolutely fine because he seems to be. He had a couple of chances against Bournemouth. One where I think he should do better with his head, and then there's one where he should really hit it low past the goalkeeper. So that's something I can say about Dominic Calvert-Lewin. But again, you've got Okafor, you've got Dan James, Wilfred Gnonto as well. So Leeds United are doing all right. They're doing all right under Daniel Farke as well. So, but coming up against the Tottenham side, who I thought were a little bit fortunate to get a 1-1 draw with Wolves. I thought Wolves played really, really well, and obviously Tottenham did have a couple of chances. Obviously, they had the ruled out goal from Mohamed Kudus. Mohamed Kudus also had a header brilliantly saved onto the crossbar from Sam Johnston as well. So, yeah, look, I think Saturday lunchtime it would be very interesting because it's not an easy place to go to, Elland Road. It's certainly not an easy place to go to, and I've just got a feeling that I look at that game and Leeds will give Tottenham a fair crack as well. However, I do think that Spurs just have a little bit more about them. And I'm going to go Leeds United 1, Tottenham 2. I do think Tottenham come away with the 3 points in this one. So Leeds 1, Tottenham 2. And now we have Arsenal against West Ham United. Arsenal getting a really important 3 points against Newcastle United. We will come to it because there's a lot of controversy, to tell you the very truth. And West Ham United getting a 1-1 draw with Everton in Nuno Espirito Santo's first match in charge of the Hammers. Now, Arsenal, very good victory against Newcastle. Let me just say, very impressive victory, because I think when you look at Arsenal in the past, people would probably go, like, say, look, um, Newcastle probably win that game on merit. They probably do. Um, but I think we've seen a different side to Arsenal. I think we saw a team that was really determined to obviously get the equaliser and obviously get that winner. Obviously, Gabriel does score the winner. Should he have been sent off? I think if you raise your arm like he has, then it's violent conduct. So I think he was a bit lucky there. Definitely needs to do better for the first goal. Goes down like a sack of spuds as well. Um, And again, Arsenal should have had a penalty because Victor Gyökeres is fouled by Nick Pope. And what's the difference between that one and the Robert Sanchez one in Bournemouth? What's the difference there? So that was a bit of a surprise. That was a bit of a surprise that wasn't given. But apart from that, Arsenal did get the win, and I think in the end they just about deserved it. I think they were the much better team. Newcastle completely went to pieces when Nick Voltemada was substituted as well. So yeah, good win for Arsenal. Good win for Arsenal for sure. West Ham, good draw against Everton. Tale of two halves. I think Everton had the better first half. Second half was definitely West Ham's to lose. So a draw is a fair result. Jared Bowen obviously becoming the first man to score at the Hill Dickinson Stadium as well. So that was really good to see for sure for West Ham as well. So look, how do I see this one going? Obviously, West Ham did win last season at the Emirates by a goal to nil. Jared Bowen obviously scoring the winning goal in that one. Um, Nuno will make it tough. Nuno will make it very tough. Just a very quick one, actually. I just have to speak about obviously the decision to put Graham Potter into a press conference on the Friday and then sack him on the Saturday. This was obviously planned. Let's be honest. This was obviously planned, and I think Potter got what he deserved. Unfortunately, I think he just didn't do well enough at West Ham, and I think the sack was definitely coming at some point for Graham Potter. So look, Nuno Espirito Santo will make West Ham very difficult to beat for sure, and I think he will get West Ham climbing into the table. I would say as well. But I think Arsenal will avenge last year's defeat to West Ham. And I'm going to go for the same scoreline, but I'm going to go for a 1-0 victory to Arsenal. I think Nuno will play a low block. He'll make him difficult to play against. But I just think Arsenal will just sneak this one. Going to go Arsenal 1, West Ham United 0. And now into a very interesting game. Manchester United against newly promoted Sunderland at Old Trafford. Um, Manchester United, what can we say about them? They were shocking against Brentford. Absolutely shocking. It's more to say about the fact that they were really poor. Um, I think you've got to say Brentford did deserve to win. Brentford were fantastic on that day. But what I want to say about Manchester United is same old problems. Can't defend. They've got a clowning goal in Bayindir. Why they're not using the new lad Lamans? It feels like Manchester United have three second choice goalkeepers at the club. Now, India for me, not a number one. He isn't a number one. I don't think he is a number one. Um, this Lamans, who's came in from obviously Royal Antwerp, we haven't seen him yet. And then I've got Tom Heaton as well. So Man United have big problems, big problems. And Ruben Amorim, the jury's out on him now. I think the jury is now out on him. And will Manchester United stick with him? Well, who knows? Who knows now? Um, I think it's really interesting to say the very least. But it is looking like that Ruben Amorim's time at Manchester United could be coming to an end. It could be coming to an end. But I tell you, one man's time who's not coming to an end at Sunderland is Lebris, the Sunderland manager. Absolutely unbelievable start to the season. 11 points from a possible 18, which is really good for Sunderland. Um, and it was a backs to the wall performance against Nottingham Forest, but they got the win. And Granit Xhaka for me was the best player on the pitch. He was everywhere. And he's a real leader in that Sunderland side. He is a real leader in that Sunderland side. So how do I see this one going? Well, you wouldn't put it past Manchester United to sort of bounce back against Sunderland. Um, but when I look at both teams at the moment, Sunderland are definitely the more organised. They've got leaders in that team. I look at Manchester United. I just don't see any leaders in this team whatsoever. Just do not see it. So I'm actually going to go. This might be a bit of a surprise, but I'm going to go 2-1 to Sunderland. I think Sunderland could go to Old Trafford and win. I'm going to go Manchester United 1, Sunderland 2. Now we have a Saturday tea time game between Chelsea and Liverpool. Both of these sides looking to bounce back after really shock defeats the weekend. Chelsea losing by 3 goals to 1 against Brighton. Liverpool losing 2-1 to Crystal Palace. Um, Chelsea obviously without Chalobah. They will be out without Chalobah. He's suspended. Um, and I've got to say, Chelsea were very poor. Well, they weren't poor up until obviously the red card that Chalobah got. Completely changed the game for sure. Completely changed the game because Chelsea were in the ascendancy. Obviously got that goal from Enzo Fernandez, but when obviously Chalobah got sent off, completely different game. Brighton dominated after that. So obviously Chelsea beat Benfica 1-0 tonight as well, which was very good to see. Um, so Chelsea won this game 3-1 earlier in last season as well against Liverpool. Liverpool, two defeats in a row, Crystal Palace and Galatasaray. Both, I'd have to say, were both deserved. Galatasaray didn't look like scoring against Crystal Palace. We could have been easily about 5-0 down. Could have easily been about 5-0 down. Big news is Alisson's going to miss this game. Got injured against Galatasaray, so Marmadashvili will make his Premier League bow against Chelsea. So big opportunity for him to say at the very least. How do I see this one going? This could be any scoreline. It could be any scoreline. But I don't think you can separate Liverpool and Chelsea. I don't think you can separate Liverpool and Chelsea. These two will be going, for it after the international break. And I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I think Chelsea and Liverpool will play out a 1-1 draw. Now we have 5 games on Sunday, and we have first one is Aston Villa against Burnley. Aston Villa will be massively relieved they're getting that 3 points against Fulham. Ollie Watkins, John McGinn, and Emi Buendia were the goals that got them that 3-1 victory. And it's probably a victory that came to relief, more relief for Unai Emery, more than sort of joy, I'd say. They're finally off the mark, which is really good to see as well. Burnley, yeah, against Man City. Taylor 2 has a game for me because I think they contained Manchester City really, really well in that first half. Jaden Anthony obviously got the goal for Burnley to equalise, which is very, very good for them. But obviously, um, Jeremy Doku absolutely terrorised Kyle Walker on Saturday there, and I think you've got to say it was a very, very good performance in the end from Manchester City. But Burnley, I've got to say, Scott Parker is making them tough to beat. They're making them very, very tough to beat. In fact, all the promoted sides at this moment in time have 23 points between them, which I think is the best start of all the three promoted clubs since I think the 2017-18 season, where two out of the three stayed up that season. So who knows? It's still too early to say. It is still very, very too early to say. But I think if you're Aston Villa and think if you're Burnley, I think not bad starts to the season. Burnley are obviously in the relegation zone at the moment. Villa, they'll be happy that they got that win as well. So tricky one to call, but I'm going to go Aston Villa to win this one at Villa Park, and I'm going to go Aston Villa 2, Burnley nil. Now we have Everton against Crystal Palace at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. Everton with a 1-1 draw against West Ham United. Crystal Palace 2-1 win over the champions at Selhurst Park. First things first, Everton. Um, Kieran Dewsbury Hall's missing because obviously he's picked up 5 bookings. Again, another really strange decision to book Kieran Dewsbury Hall again. Um, I will say though, I do think Everton did look a little bit lethargic in that second half. I think it's quite safe to say. Michael Keane obviously got the goal. It was a fantastic header from Michael Keane into the top corner, which was really, really good to see. Jack Grealish was in and out of the game. I still think they're trying to find the balance for Jack Grealish. I do think they're trying to find the balance for to sort of have him in this side. I think once they do it, I think they'll be absolutely fine. I do think they'll be absolutely fine. Crystal Palace, the only unbeaten side left in the Premier League this season. I didn't think I'd be saying that, but fair play to Crystal Palace because last week against Liverpool, they absolutely dominated the champions. Should have been about 4 or 5 up at half time. And yeah, it was a really, really good performance from Crystal Palace. And now, yeah, they go to Everton, their bogey side. So looking to make it 19 unbeaten, which would be a club record, to say the very, very least. Now, Crystal Palace, believe it or not, actually were one of the first opponents at the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and they're obviously now one of the newest opponents at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. But nobody's won there yet at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. Gonna say it happens this week though. I'm gonna go Everton 1, Crystal Palace 2. I think Crystal Palace win this one, and I'm gonna go for them to be the first team to win at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. Everton 1, Crystal Palace 2. Newcastle United against Nottingham Forest. Yeah, this is really interesting, I've got to say. Really, really interesting game. Newcastle United will be kicking themselves with losing to Arsenal. Also got to say as well, I'm a little bit concerned about Tino Livramento. If that is the case of another ACL, I hope it isn't because Tino Livramento has been fantastic for Newcastle this season. Bottomada looks a really good signing, getting that goal in the first half, which is very, very good for him. Um, and yeah, I think once Bottomada went off, you can kind of see sort of what Eddie Howe wanted to do, try and sort of settle and try and get that win. It didn't work for him, unfortunately. So it was very, very disappointing to say the very, very least. But I look at the I look at Newcastle United in that game, and they were lucky not to concede a penalty to Victor Gyökeres on Nick Pope. I think Pope does bring down Victor Gyökeres. I think they can be harshly done by with the Gabriel handball because I'm for the life of me, I'm still struggling to see how that's gone off Gabriel's shin onto his arm. I'm very, very surprised by that. Um, but I've got to say, I think Newcastle United will. It's been a bit of a it's been a bit of a disappointing start. Obviously, they have had to obviously balance Champions League and Premier League at the moment, but yeah, 6 points from a possible 18 is not a good start. So they'll be hoping to get back to winning ways. They're coming up against Nottingham Forest side, who are now five without a win under Ange. And I think the last place you really want to be going when you're not in very good form is St James's Park because yes, I know obviously Arsenal won at St James's Park, but I just think Newcastle at the moment they look like a team that could really, really hurt Ange Postecoglou's Nottingham Forest. I do have a feeling about that as well. So how do I see it going? I actually think Newcastle win this, and I think they win this pretty comfortably. Was it 4-3 the last time? I can't remember, but um, it was quite an interesting game last season. Let me just put it that way. Was it 4-3? I think it was 4-3 actually. Um, so don't think it's gonna be quite as 4-3 last season, but I'm gonna go for Newcastle to win this one by 3 goals to 1. Newcastle United 3, Nottingham Forest 1. Wolves against Brighton. Wolves finally off the mark with a 1-1 draw with Tottenham. Brighton 3-1 win over Chelsea, which was very, very good to watch as well. Very good point for Wolves. They'll just want to now sort of get wins and just climb up the table a little bit, for sure. And it does kind of relieve the pressure on Vitor Pereira, even though he's obviously signed a new contract. I think maybe Wolves are kind of accepting where they are at the moment. Um, but Santiago Bueno obviously got the goal, which was really, really good to see. And yeah, fair play to Vitor Pereira because he made 9 changes in that game against Tottenham, stuck with his team that did well in the Carabao Cup against Everton. And it paid dividends because they got the points, and it was a good point in the end. Brighton, as I said, against Chelsea, the game completely changed when that red card happened to Chalobah. And then Danny Welbeck got a double, lovely ball from Minty, and Danny Welbeck does what Danny Welbeck does best, and that is goal scoring. Um, and then yeah, the Kuiper got the second, and then Danny Welbeck just goes through a couple of Chelsea players and then past Robert Sanchez. So I think I mean you look at Brighton, they're a team definitely on the up. And I just look at them against Wolves, and I think they've got more about them. I think they've got more quality about them. So I think Brighton go to Wolves, and I'm going to go Wolves 0, Brighton 2. And that leaves one last game before the international break, and that is Brentford against Manchester City. Brentford 3-1 winners over Manchester United, and Man City 5-1 in the end against Burnley. But Brentford, got to say, the early signs are really good under Keith Andrews. You've got Igor Thiago firing on all cylinders at the moment, which is really good to see. He seems to be doing really well, and that's a very, very good sign as well. Um, Jordan Henderson has been absolutely fantastic as well, and also Queven Kelleher saving a penalty from Bruno Fernandes on Saturday, which was a really good save as well. Did a lot of that at Liverpool. Did a lot of that at Liverpool, and you know, he's a very good penalty kick saving goalkeeper, to tell you the truth. But yeah, they come against Manchester City, who won 5-1. And I've got to say, Jeremy Doku is now starting to show why City paid money for him because ever since Jack Grealish has left, he's kind of making that left hand side his own at the moment. Still question marks obviously about his end product, but I think when you look at Jeremy Doku as a player, very exciting to watch, and he does look like he is going to have a good season. Haaland, obviously getting Erling Haaland given getting 2 goals as well. Matheus Nunez was the other one to get the goal as well. So can Brentford do a Manchester double? I don't think they will. I don't think they will, unfortunately. But look, Brentford have started the season really, really well. I've got to say, they just need to keep this up. Just need to keep this up for sure. But I'm going to go Brentford 1, Manchester City 3. So there are my predictions. Get yours in the comment section down below, and I'll go through my predictions really quickly as well. So we have Bournemouth 2, Fulham 1, Leeds United 1, Tottenham 2, Arsenal 1, West Ham United 0, Manchester United 1, Sunderland 2, Chelsea 1, Liverpool 1, Aston Villa 2, Burnley 0, Everton 1, Crystal Palace 2, Newcastle United 3, Nottingham Forest 1, Wolves 0, Brighton 2, and Brentford 1, Manchester City 3. So get your predictions down in the comments. Please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Also, press that hype button as well to get it out to other people as well. But guys, I'm delighted to bring back the Prem Prediction Show. We will be bringing it back better after the international break as well. But guys, thank you very much for watching it. It's appreciated as always. And please do leave your predictions down in the comments. And I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye for now.